So how about we get into the show? Are you ready?
Yeah, just give me 1 second.
All right.
I got it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotta get your voice ready.
I gotta get my voice ready.
Okay.
All right. Hello. Welcome to Side Character Quest. My name is Amber. And as always, with us today, your host, the host with the most.
Oh.
Damn it, Ty.
That's right. This is me, Ty. Do you want to record that again, or do you just want me to we can just forge ahead? This is the show. This could be the show.
This is the show now. We
right.
can't have nice things.
I should have realized that you were going for some what's the word? Dramatic pauses. But instead, I just charged right through that and destroyed.
It's okay.
All sense.
You're an excited person. You get excited. You jump at it like a dog in front of a car.
Yeah. But the listeners know who I am. This is, I've been with them for several episodes at this point. They don't know who you are, Amber. Let's do a little bit of intro for you before we get into the actual show. How long have you been, what's your sort of background with RPGs, role-playing games?
So I've sort of been playing D&D on and off for maybe about 4 or 5 years now. I have never actually finished a campaign.
Ain't that just the way?
Unfortunately. But that's sort of my only experience with tabletop games. I did at one point play another one. I can't remember the name at the time, but I didn't really have as much fun with that one because me and the DM just couldn't really mesh up. I really wanted to play sort of a ninja guy, and I had this sort of background character arc that I was totally interested in playing that the DM was not interested in exploring. So
gotcha. Yeah. Well, actually, you are the person that introduced me to the idea of one-on-one Dungeons and Dragons, and sort of showed me that was a thing that could work, because you were thinking about starting up a session. And you called me one day and you're like, hey, I'd like to start up this campaign. I was wondering if we could do some background with your character. And so that didn't end up going anywhere, but we did a one-on-one play session, which was excellent. And it was oh, hey, this could work.
Or did it go somewhere, Ty? Maybe I'm still working on it.
Oh, are you still working on it? Because I would be so excited.
I actually am. Yeah, no, it's just, I realized that if I wanted to give my players the experience that I really felt they deserved, my world needed to be more fleshed out than it was. So.
Oh, you mean you aren't just figuring things out play session to play session? That's so.
Who does that?
I don't know. Okay. So speaking of games and campaigns and figuring things out, normally we've been on Side Character Quest, we've been doing D&D. This week, though, we're going to be doing a different game system called Monster of the Week. It's a little bit different than Dungeons and Dragons. Basically, the main thing is how the mechanics work is that the player, when they want to do something, they roll 2 dice, 2 d6s, 6-sided dice. And if they get a low score, then something bad happens. If they get a really high score, then something good happens. And if they get somewhere in between, then something good and something bad happens. Other than that, it's pretty similar to Dungeons and Dragons in that, you have stats, you have a few special moves, and as the name would imply, Monster of the Week, there is a monster, and you have to defeat said monster. So, spoilers, this little side quest is going to be about Amber's character defeating a monster.
I'm pretty excited for this, to be honest. First time I heard about Monster of the Week, shout out to the McElroy brothers. I was really interested. Yeah, the Adventure Zone's such a great podcast, by the way. Thank you for getting me into that. Yeah.
So I've actually, in preparation for this game, like neither Amber or I have ever played Monster of the Week. Hopefully we can stumble our way through it. But I've been listening to The Adventure Zone, and I've also been listening to a different podcast called Very Random Encounters. They have a short 3-episode arc that's in Monster of the Week, and I use those as sort of like a sort of test to sort of get myself into the mindset.
So what kind of monster am I fighting, Ty?
You're gonna fight a big old spider, and it's gonna be real mean and stuff. No, no, we are not going to jump in that. Obviously, we're gonna do a little bit of a short little episode to sort of establish your character, and then we'll get into the monster stuff later.
Oh man, I was trying to trick you so I could get clues early, but
no. I mean,
quick on your feet.
I'm too smart for you. Too fast. All right. So, how do you feel about just diving in now that we are, I don't know, like 10 minutes in, 5 minutes into this, and getting this thing going?
Sure. How deep is the pool?
What?
You said diving in.
Oh, okay. Listen, I can dish out the puns. I cannot take the puns. So let's we're gonna do a little fade out, and then when it comes back, we're gonna be in the game. You're clear. You're calm. You're peaceful. Your mind is empty. You're falling. It's cold. It's wet. And oh hell, it's loud. Time seems to slow for you. What do you do?
Hello?
And you get you continue falling, and you get hit by some rocks, and you keep on going.
Okay, I cover my head.
Cover your head. All right.
And tuck. Yeah.
Roll me. What's? Oh hey.
Quick pause while I look up what the things are called.
Well, as you protect your head, give me a act under pressure.
Does my character have any
pluses?
Any pluses to? Yeah.
Yes. I actually wrote this out. You have a +1 to cool, which is what you use for act under pressure.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I'm just making sure. +1 to cool. All right.
Just so the listener knows, basically anything from a 7 to 9 is a like okay success, and anything over a 10 is like, yeah, you did it. Anything less than a 7, and I have to do something bad to you.
Oh, Ty, I don't want that to happen. But luckily for me, I rolled a 7 +1 modifier equals an 8, baby.
Okay, so you protect your head. You are not going to have the worst thing happen to you. So you are falling through this water. It's so loud, and you open your eyes briefly and see that you are like 50 feet up, and then slam into some rocks beneath you and pass out. You are going through the water. Your mind clears for a moment. You are awake, and you see a arm reach into the water for you.
I instantly shuffle away from it.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay. And you okay. Yeah. You so okay. Yeah. You take 3 harm. You pass out again.
What?
Yeah.
Oh. All right. Well, let me mark that down. I am not okay.
So once again, telling people how things work. Once you take 4 or more harm, you are unstable, and that basically means like you are you're going to start feeling worse and worse until you die, essentially. So 3 is like the most you can get without getting help. You would have taken 4 instantly if you had done badly at the beginning.
Oh man.
Yeah. So you pass out again in this water.
Am I face down in this water at all? Can I get a better understanding of the scene that I'm in?
It's black. You can't see. You can't hear. You are unconscious. And after a period of time, you don't know how long it's been. You stir. You feel some warmth. You feel some pain, and you're still like kind of sodden, but you can hear the crackling of a fire. What do you do?
What? So, I open my eyes and don't move my body.
Okay.
And I try to get a chance to survey the room.
Okay. You look around, and you see that it is late evening. You are near a river. You see a young woman, probably in her early 20s, wearing sort of makeshift leather armor. You see that she has a staff by her side, and she has a fire burning and a trout roasting over the fire. You also see
Do I remember who I am?
You do not know who you are, and that's a weird realization. You don't know where you are. You don't know why you are.
Okay.
And you also see another figure wearing a large hat. You can't see their face underneath the shadow of the hat because it's pretty dark out. That figure is sitting on a log, sort of across from the person, the woman.
I'm feeling around with my fingers for anything that will make me, like, I'm looking to grab something that will make me feel secure, make me feel stronger.
Okay. You are trying to get an idea, trying to find something to make you feel secure. You realize that your arms are bound and they're tied up behind you. However, you also realize that you are propped up in a somewhat comfortable position. And you don't seem to have, you're not wearing a pack. You don't notice you're not wearing like a sidearm or anything like that. You're just wearing some clothes.
I run.
Huh?
Run.
Okay.
I ran. I just ran. I booked.
You pop up, and you start running. And when you start running, the person wearing the hat looks at you and and you can see them smiling under their hood or their brim, and you can see the woman just sort of look at you with surprise.
I am literally eyes straight forward, not looking at anything. I am running.
You book it. Okay. So you are next to a river, and you have a forest past a small field ahead of you. I was not expecting you to do this. Okay. What do you go towards the forest, like through the field?
So before we, talk about the running real quick. So when I first surveyed the scene, in front of me was what, behind me was what, and to my left and right was what?
So in front of you you were sort of propped up, facing this fire, and there was a woman sort of to the right of you sitting around the fire, and then there was a figure with a big hat sitting on a log to your left-ish. Far to the left, there's the river. Far to the right, there's a field with a forest behind it, and like in front of you and behind you is just more of this sort of coast area.
I book it straight. I like I'm guessing you said I'm propped up against something. So I got up and I ran around the thing that I was propped up and then away.
Okay, so you're not running towards the forest. You're just running like downriver.
Yeah, the first thing that I wanted to do was put something between me and whomever these crazy people are who've bound me and run.
Okay, so you pop up, and the dude, not the dude, the figure smiles at you, and then the woman looks up with surprise and says, "Hey, what? Where are you going?"
Can I speak?
You can speak if you want. Yeah.
Okay, so I try to not speak to them. I'm trying to whisper like, hi, my name is oh crap. Okay. Don't know who I am. I am where I don't know. Okay, crap. Run. Just run.
You hear a voice in your head say, your name is Silas. Wait, actually, let me take that again. Your name is Silas.
Run. Run. Okay, my name's Silas. Silas, run. Just run, Silas.
You are running down the river. You are running. You see, you still see this field to your, now it's to your left, and the river.
Can I roll for how good I'm running? Because I'm getting the feeling that I am like abnormally running.
I am not going to make you roll. You are booking it. You are setting some like serious distance between these two people and you. There's a small set of like trees that are sort of more towards the coast, and you push past those, giving that making a separation between you and this fire. And as you get to the other side, you see a figure with a large brimmed hat standing on the other side and smiling. And they say, "Hello, Silas."
So my heart is beating
yes,
really fast, but it becomes quite clear that this failed. So I kind of just stand there silently.
You get to the other side of these trees and stop with this figure in front of you. And this figure says, "Silas, why are you trying to get away?"
I just stare. I'm not sure if I can trust them yet, so I don't want them to know if I can speak.
"Silas, it was our bargain that I help you solve your fate. And I can't just let you leave. I've got to fulfill my part of the bargain."
Silas ever so slightly squints her eye because she knows that there's something more to learn, and she's definitely intrigued, but she does not want to give up like the fact that she does not know anything. She feels like there's some type of power in withholding, some security in appearing like she could do anything at any moment, but internally she is still just like trying to gather information.
You hear some running behind you and like pushing through the trees and stuff. As you're standing there and trying to figure this out, the young woman bursts out of the trees that you had passed through and almost collides with you, because she is going full bore and doesn't realize that you're just like standing on the other side. She crashes into you.
Roll or not? I don't know if you're gonna make me roll, but I feel like Silas would like. Okay, so this is for the listener. Ty and I both took martial arts, so together. I feel like Silas would have like probably like stepped forward in like Tenkon or something. Like I'm not sure if it would have like stopped the person from running into them, but Silas would have probably like casually made a step to get out of the way.
Okay, so you casually I'm just gonna let you do that because I like that scene. So you casually step out of the way, and she ends up like stumbling. So she sees you, and you realize that she's like coming up behind you, and you just turn, and she trips over you as you're like moving out of the way, and she collapses onto the ground, and she's like, she looks up at you and says, "Geez, Art, listen, we're okay. I understand you're scared and stuff, but like," and she's just at a loss for words right now, and she's
food.
What?
Food.
And at that, she smiles and she points back at the fire and she's like, "Listen, I've got some food at the fire. We've got some trouts burning, both burning now. Come on back over. We'll have a nice talk. We'll chat. I'll get you some fish, and we'll get your belly full, and then we'll figure out what to do from there. All right?"
Silas doesn't agree to go. Silas just sticks her wrist out, like, take off these. She doesn't say it, but she's just like showing them that, like, hey, my hands are bound. I have problems with this.
So she, this person stands up and looks at your wrists and looks at your face again, and then says, "Oh, geez, you've got some crazy eyes." And then she takes out a knife, and if you let her, she goes to cut off your binds.
I do.
Okay, she does that. Listen, I'm sorry. I know this looks bad, but like I found you.
Silas turns around and walks straight back towards the camp.
You, she jogs to catch up with you, and she's like, "Listen, I'm real." She does not know what to say at this point. She walks with you back to the camp, and sits down and offers you one of the trouts that she had cooking on the fire.
Do I remember the name of the figure who appeared in front of me?
You do not. You do not recognize that figure at all.
I am doing everything in my power to try to figure out if I can even bluff this person's name.
Okay. So you, while you're walking back, you are trying to figure out this person's name, and you look behind you, and you see that the figure is not following you guys. They are gone.
Mm. I'm still following her to the thing. You know, like I sit down, she offers me the food. I start eating it gingerly.
Okay.
Because I noticed I was hungry.
It is pretty good. It's a good trout.
Pleased internally.
Mm-hmm. So she's sitting with you, and she's like, "Listen, I'm real sorry. I hope you understand. Like, I found you, Roddy and I found you, and we knew that there was like something wrong. We're pretty sure you weren't with the climbers, but you understand, we've got to be careful around these parts." He went back to try to get a stretcher because we didn't know if you were going to wake up. He should be back tomorrow morning. I hope you know. Listen, I'm real sorry about tying you up.
How come you don't know I'm with the climbers?
She looks at you and she's like, you can see a little bit of fear in her eye.
Not blinking.
She gets a little. She grips her staff a little bit tighter. And is like, well, I honestly, I mean, you're just not dressed like them. You don't look like you're from around here is the thing.
I don't know where I'm from.
That's
Silas is totally testing right now, trying to see how she reacts.
That's strange, I guess. Oh, well, I mean, she sort of like scratches her head a little bit. Did you hit your head or something? I mean, I don't know how long you were in the water. I don't know. Let's see.
Do you know where you're from?
I'm from South Bend.
Mm. South Bend.
Yeah. Do you, maybe
I think I might be from South Bend.
She laughs and she's like, I think I would know if you were from South Bend. I'm sorry. It's not exactly the biggest place.
What's South Bend like?
It's just like a farming town.
Not blinking.
It doesn't seem like much of the. You don't seem like much of a farmer. Listen, she looks at some cuts and bruises that are visible on your face, and she's like, do you mind if I could fix you up a little bit. Do you mind if I help you out? Like, do a little bit of quid pro quo. I heal you a little bit, and you maybe that'll help you remember what's going on.
Silas's face turns real sour. Like, do not touch me. Like that is not something like, but
Do you say don't touch me?
no,
Okay.
just the face is like when she was like, I could heal you up like this. It was very clear that the idea of having her touch her was like not okay. But Silas sort of checks into like how she's feeling,
Mm-hmm.
and she remembers that she's feeling a lot of pain right now.
Mm-hmm.
Does she remember getting hit?
You, Silas?
Yeah.
Yes. You remember falling. You remember water everywhere. You remember just this pounding sound, and you remember slamming against rocks, and then like almost drowning in this river. And as you're
Silas
thinking
just
about
takes a breath. Oh, go ahead.
as you're thinking about it, you realize that the arm that you saw, the garb looked very similar to the shadowed figure with the hat that you saw earlier, the arm that you rejected.
Silas says, I tell you what, you fix this arm and any other wounds I might have, I won't kill you.
She do manipulate person. Because like I think that what you're trying to do right now is to not just you're trying to establish a dynamic here. You're not just trying to get her to heal you. You're trying to get her to fear you. And I feel like that's going to be manipulate person. So that's charm,
It's
which
my
you have
charm.
-1.
Ugh. All right.
Yeah, go for it.
So that would be a 3 and a 5 -1 modifier, which is a 7.
Okay. So this is going to be a partial success. So you are going to accomplish one of the things that you were trying to do, which was trying to heal her or trying to get her to heal you, and also trying to sort of intimidate her into submission. So what she's going to do instead, she sort of looks at you and says, "You're just scared and confused, aren't you?" And she is very clearly not intimidated, and she is like, she says, "Listen, well, tell me your name, and I'll heal you."
I don't know my name, but I think it's Silas.
"My name's Clara," and she sticks out a hand to shake.
Silas sticks out the limpest hand.
Okay. Clara reaches out and grabs your hand and shakes, and then she.
There was no participation in that.
Mm-hmm. Then she places her left hand over her eyes with a fist, and her right hand she places in front of your screwed up arm from when you fell, with her palm open and her fingers spread, and she says, "From my light to yours." And you see a glow happen in front of her hand, and remove one harm.
Okay, done. I get the feeling that I get the feeling that like even though I got healed, something about that didn't feel good.
Interesting. Okay. Do you say anything to her?
No, just I feel maybe a little bit queasy.
Gotcha. As this happens, you keep eating your trout, and the night goes on. She just sort of lets you guys sit in the quiet for a while. Do you ask her anything? Do you get up and look around? What do you do?
As I'm eating the trout, and as the fire is sort of crackling in the distance, I wait for a moment when I think she's like sort of lulled into this sense where she doesn't think I'm really going to participate in any type of conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I ask my question, and I say, "What were you doing out here all by yourself?"
She looks at you and she says, "Well, I mean, I wasn't all by myself. I was out here with Roddy. This is not a safe place to be, spending your time. We were scouting for the wall climbers. We think that they've been what's the word? We think that they've set up camp somewhere around the eastern wall out here. So we've been trying to figure out where they're laying low.
The wall?
Yeah, the wall.
What wall?
She looks at you like you are crazy. The wall. You know, the wall. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, of course. I was just testing you.
She looks at you. She's like, you really don't remember anything, do you?
Look, man, get out of my head, okay? I don't know you like that.
She's like, yeah. So, okay. Yeah, Roddy and I were checking out, and we saw you washed up on shore, and well, you looked really banged up. So, he rode off to try to get a stretcher because we thought you might not wake up, and we needed to take you back somewhere where they could take care of you. And at this point, you notice that she has a horse tied up. Where you've noticed through this time being that she has a horse tied up off to the side.
How do I feel right now, Ty?
As far as like physically, like how fit you feel?
No, just sort of like about the like this overall situation. It like based off of like I'm assuming because like you have some type of understanding of what my character might have known before this.
Yes.
Am I suspicious? Because I feel real suspicious.
You have like the way this person is dressed looks kind of weird to you. Like you don't feel like you've seen somebody wearing clothes like this before. And there's nothing especially strange about their clothes, like ostentatious or whatever. It's just that, you know, it feels weird to you. Like if you saw somebody that was wearing pants that were slightly shorter than normal or something like that, slightly different cut than you're used to. You legitimately don't know like what wall this person was talking about. The place around you feels like greener and more verdant than feels normal. It's just that this whole area does not feel familiar to you at all. And like she mentioned wall climbers, and like you don't know what those are.
Now I have two more questions for you.
Yes.
One, do I feel guilty?
Yes. You feel like there is something that you need to do that you have forgotten, something that you are supposed to be working on. And you feel like if you don't do it, then something bad will happen, but you don't know what it is.
Gotcha. So I follow that feeling in my thoughts while we're sitting here, and I'm like, I very explicitly ask myself this question in my head. I say, what am I doing here?
Do you really not know? And
okay.
You look to your left, and there is a figure with a large brimmed hat looking towards you and smiling.
I look back at, what was her name?
The figure that you were talking, the person or the figure?
The person.
Clara.
I look back at Clara like wide-eyed.
Uh-huh.
And then I look at the person with the brimmed hat.
Uh-huh.
And I'm trying to see if Clara notices this person.
She is sort of like eyeing you like I wonder, this is a weird person, like waiting for you to have more questions or anything. And she does not seem to notice this person sitting to your side.
So in my head, I go, she can't see you, huh?
The person smiles broader. And even though you aren't like looking directly at them, you just know that they're smiling. She most certainly cannot.
All right, then, Spectre, you got 3 seconds to tell me what the hell is going on.
That wasn't part of our bargain. The Spectre smiles and disappears.
Verbally, she says this verbally. She's like, God damn it.
Clara like eyes get wide and says, what's wrong?
I told you to get out of my head.
You said that out loud. I'm sorry. I don't know what I can do about it.
This is not a conversation for you.
Oh, okay. She
When's your friend coming back? What are we doing out here? You said they're wall climbers and walls, and it's nighttime and it's getting dangerous. Can we go? Can we leave?
listen. We already scouted this area. We know that they're not out right over here. We'll go in the morning when Roddy gets back. I'm sorry. I'll listen. Where do you want to go when we're done? When this all happens tomorrow? Do you want to go back to South Bend? Do you want what do you want to do?
Look, okay, look. I'm being honest. I don't know what's going on. You were right earlier. I don't remember anything. And excuse me, but I'm a little freaked out by the fact that what does she look like?
Clara.
Yeah.
She is like I said before, she is like early 20s. She looks not intimidating. She's wearing like sort of makeshift leather armor. She's kind of tall in a like sort of awkward way. When she smiles, it's sort of like a not a conniving look, if that makes sense. She doesn't look guarded.
Listen, look. I'm just a little freaked out. Sitting here next to a fire, next to a Fifi Dobson looking motherfucker, not really understanding what's going on. You can understand why I have some weird feelings about what's happening right now, right?
Yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from. Listen, we just wanted to make sure that you were all right. Roddy and I, we're just trying to do our best to keep people safe. And when we saw you on the shore, we didn't want you to get, we didn't know who you were, but we wanted to make sure you made it through the night, So once Roddy comes back in the morning, we'll take you wherever you want to go. But trust me when I say this isn't the sort of place that you just want to walk around with some sort of head injury or something by yourself in the woods.
I have a head injury? My head's messed up?
I assume. I mean, you don't remember.
Do
anything.
I have a wound? Stop stammering.
She looks at you. She looks at you and is like, no, I don't see one. But like, you just, I assume, well, with you're not knowing anything.
So like she is like Silas is definitely flustered, right?
Gotcha.
Like frustrated, probably more than flustered. I'm getting the feeling that Silas does not understand who this specter is, but has some type of feeling that they're supposed to be there.
Mm-hmm.
But the nature of that relationship freaks her the fuck out, especially the fact that Claire can't see it.
Clara,
sorry, can't see it.
Yeah, that's totally reasonable. We're going to take a quick break and then be back in a moment. You and Clara keep talking for a little bit through the night. You don't really go super in depth, but eventually she goes to sleep and you go to rest. What do you do after she falls asleep? Do you wait for Roddy to show up in the morning or what?
So I get the feeling that this character doesn't sleep like humans would.
Yeah.
And so, but I don't think Silas remembers this.
Okay.
So I think Silas like sees Clara, lay down and try to tuck her out, go to sleep. And Silas tries to do the same, but in a seated up position, facing Clara. And Silas closes their eyes, and after a while, kind of realizes that nothing's happening from it, and just opens their eyes again, and kind of just sits there trying to remember what's going on, but after a while, sort of like goes into, I guess, a night dream because it's not a daydream, and just kind of relaxes there. And then the sun kind of comes up in like no time. Yeah.
All right. So eventually, in the morning, do you go with them when Roddy shows up and head back to town, or do you go off on your own?
As soon as Roddy shows up, Silas kind of cozies up a little bit more to Clara.
Okay.
Not like, touchy, but it's obvious to Clara that Silas is more comfortable with her than she is with whoever this new person is.
Gotcha.
And yeah, I think that's just gonna kind of be a constant thing about this character, that it's like, don't know you, don't like you.
Gotcha. Okay, so they take you back to South Bend, where there's lots of activity. Things seem like really rough and hectic there, and eventually they say that a group comes through that's heading towards some of the larger cities to the north, and they say that if you want to stay safe, you should probably head that way. So Clara sends you on your way and says, it's like, listen, crazy guys, I hope we see each other again in the future, but just try to stay safe. All right.
Yeah, whatever.
And she sends you on your way with some halflings that are heading off north.
Totally sad, by the way. Like, Silas is sad and scared, but does not know how to talk about it.
Okay. Over the next couple of years, you do not remember anything more about your past. You occasionally see this figure with the wide-brimmed hat smiling at you, but you don't get you don't get much more deep communication with that person. They just sort of show up in the corner of your eye sometimes. You travel around a bit.
I think Silas has gotten into the habit of just talking to the brimmed hat character.
Gotcha.
Knowing that they won't say anything back, but just commenting in their head to them.
Over the next couple of years, you start to know some things about this place that seems very unfamiliar and strange to you. The world is surrounded by this massive, massive wall that it's just there. It's always been there. There was this group of raiders that were a really big problem when you first showed up, but eventually they got defeated and stopped causing problems. And in the last few months, there have been a series of earthquakes. Never really big, but just they happen. And that's just sort of been happening recently. That's where we're going to be starting in our next episode as you approach a town. So tell me, what have you been trying to do over the last couple of years?
I think another thing to say, when I play D&D, I like to make it well known that my characters have picked up habits.
Okay.
Sort of thematic things that, and this is a sort of me trying to throw a bone towards the DM, okay, these are things you can use however you want. But I think that Silas has become a little bit interested in these earthquakes.
Gotcha.
Sort of and I think that partially motivates the travel. When I say partially motivates, it's that's the excuse that she says to everyone. It's oh, these earthquakes are happening. I just kind of going around trying to look at the land, see what's going on, see if we can maybe find out why. I'm just sort of studying the land, trying to figure out what's happened with you guys since the last earthquake. What were you doing when the first one happened? Blah, blah, blah.
Okay. Just so you know, those have only been going on for a few months.
Gotcha.
Those have been a very recent thing. During this time, you've been living your life, and I'm going to say that you have collected a magical item at some point. I'm going to real quick generate a few options, and I'm going to tell you what those options are. You can choose one of them, and then you have to tell me how you got it. We're not going to describe all of them on the actual podcast, so we're only going to describe the ones that you actually like consider using.
So I think this character, when looking at the 4 item choices that you've given me, I think something that would probably go best with the character is probably the soul binding.
Okay.
I'm really interested in the in the last item?
The feral glove?
Yeah, the feral glove. But to be honest, I don't really see my character. Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna go with the soul binding because I just think they're generally antisocial.
Okay.
Well, actually, you know what, Ty?
Yep.
Let's D4 it.
Oh, okay.
Let's leave it up to a roll.
So we're gonna say the Orb of Excelsior. Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
Orb of Excelsior is 1. Then the soul binding is 2. Storm Petrol Candle is 3, and the feral glove is 4. Do you want to completely knock out Storm Petrol Candle? Because you said you didn't want to expendable.
Yeah, but I appreciate the fact that there is randoms because it can't all be nice, right? Like maybe I got items that I feel are shit, and maybe I'm gonna sell them later. I don't know.
Yeah, I gotcha.
All right, let's roll this up. God damn it!
What did you get, the 3?
Yeah.
All right, you got yourself a Storm Petrol Candle.
Okay.
So for the listeners' sake, a Storm Petrol Candle, when lit, provides flight and light for up to 30 minutes. You can light it and then you can snuff it out, but after 30 minutes, it's used up completely. While you're using it, unless you have some weird way to keep it going, it takes up one of your hands. And it looks like a bird with a wick shoved down its throat.
This is so shitty. This is the worst. I'm never gonna use this item. This is so bad.
Now tell me how you got this item.
I don't know. I think there was a moment where Silas was feeling generous, and gave some of their money and food to a homeless child.
Okay.
And in return, the child gave them this thing.
This screwed up candle.
Yeah, they didn't speak to each other, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
It was just sort of like a trade of kindness, and Silas just kind of put it in their backpack and their stuff, and was like, okay.
Cool. Now I'm also going to say, so this Silas's character, since it's from Monster of the Week, it's not following a traditional class in the D&D sense. I think if anything, you would be like sort of a warlock-ish in D&D, but in Monster of the Week, you are the Spooky, and the Spooky gets, among other things, it gets 2 normal weapons. Now, of the options, you could have a big knife, which you do have, a .38 revolver, a 9mm handgun, a hunting rifle, or a shotgun. Obviously, those last 4 don't really apply in D&D. So I'm going to say that you also, if you choose, could have picked up like any sort of D&D weapon, any sort of medieval weapon over the last couple of years. Do you want one?
Yes, and this is why having the soul binding would have been good, because I would have just thrown and recalled a staff. And that would have been amazing, but I'm stuck with this stupid dove. Burning dove candle.
Do you want the staff?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely taking the staff.
I'm going to say then, unless you have a problem with this, I'm going to say that when you leave South Bend, you are very you're looking, you getting into the cart and with the halflings. And as you climb in, you see a pack of food next to Clara's staff that have been left in the cart for you.
All right, so like if we're like retro, was it like retro? Like Silas notices this, gets instantly like frizzled, like what? And then it's like looking around to see but then realizes that they're probably too far away from Clara to like do anything about it, and like doesn't touch the stuff, but like guards it. If that means it's just like.
Okay.
As she tries to figure out a way to like get it back to Clara. I think she has the impression in her mind that she's gonna get this stuff back to Clara at some point.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
It's weird. I think Clara like I was very strict about like the character's pronouns matching mine. But I kind of feel like maybe Silas is not they. I think Silas is probably she.
Okay. So yeah. So you. I think this is where we're going to end things for today. And next week, so this has been sort of an introduction to Silas and to Monster of the Week and to Amber. And next week, we're going to actually get into the monster part of Monster of the Week.
Boy, cannot wait.
Yeah, I hope everybody's had fun. I look forward to like hearing what people are, I hope that everybody's excited to try out Monster of the Week as I am. See you guys in a couple weeks, the next episode. Bye. Thanks to the Joy Drops for the use of Not Drunk as our intro and outro music. Find them at thejoydrops.com. You can find us at sidecharacterquest.com, at SCQ Podcast on Twitter, or by email at sidecharacterquest@gmail.com.
There'll be like a little music playing and then bloopers.
And I'm looking at my waveform right now to make sure that it's not crazy.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
10, motherfucker, 10.
Yes!
Testosterone.
Testosterone.
An okay hormone. How have you not seen this movie yet?
I have seen the movie on Fox when I was like 12 or something.
That's fair.
I spent all of yesterday having people tell me, how have you not seen this movie? So don't bring this shit to me. All right. So quick question. Check to make sure you're recording real quick. I do this. I get paranoid. You are recording?
Oh shit. Yeah, I'm recording.
Okay, you asshole.
Gotta keep you on your toes. What's that patch about?
Patch? Sorry?
That patch on your arm. That symbol.
So she looks at her arm, and there is a symbol of a oh man. Oh, are you going for okay.
Wait, pause.
Yes, pause.
What's going on? Didn't she say that she has a symbol on her arm?
I did not.
Oh, wait, so you said when she was like healing me, or like, no, you said earlier there was like a moment where I was looking her up and down and there was like something on her that matched something on the other guy?
No. The arm that was reaching into the water was the arm of the other figure.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Right. I didn't hear that correctly.
Sorry.
Reset.
Okay, you ask, so go back to you asking a question. We've believe that they've been ah. I'm gonna go. We're gonna take a quick break.
We're gonna take a quick break.
We're all
It's
gonna
kind of
take a
like a
quick
break.
Um,
I don't like internally. I don't feel like this character sleeps.
I
but
like the idea that Silas does not sleep as like a sign that there is something more to them that separates them from normal humans.
okay, all right. So
So
then
maybe
I'll
sort
just
of
roll
like
with that.
how elves like meditate for 4 hours a night. Like you just sort of go into you have to rest, but you don't have to sleep.
Yes. Yeah. So I think then. Okay. All right. So then I know what I'm gonna say. Um.
So one of the options is soul binding. It's a wrap that you can wrap around the hilt of a weapon, and it takes you like 10 minutes to bind it, and then you have it takes you an hour to attune to it. Once you are attuned to it, you can resummon something to your hand that has the soul binding on. The feral glove, where as an action you can pet a creature, and that creature becomes dire, which means that they become stronger, and they also fall under your sway.